You're listening to the Balanced Breakfast podcast. I'm your host, Stefan Aronsen. I've got some information for you. It's me alone here in the studio, all by myself, me, myself, and I. And I just thought I would take this moment to delve into some helpful tips and advice from me, from my history, from a background of marketing, because, hey, there are things in this brain that I'd love to share with you. So for the next few minutes, let's talk about marketing, and specifically marketing for brands. And for when I say brands, you'll understand in a second that I mean musicians, bands, launching products, big companies, small companies, all need marketing, all need to tell a story, and thus are all working on branding. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, hello, my name is Stefan Aronsen. I have a master's degree in graphic design, a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and an associate's degree in like a mixture of a whole bunch of things that basically boil down to graphic design. I've studied offset printing, I've studied photography, fine art, design. Thus, now, flash forward to the present, I am very good at telling a visual story. So, let's talk about that. In grad school, I created a survival guide. The problem with survival guides is that in a city like San Francisco, the information that you give out basically becomes null and void after 2 years. Our industry is changing so much that, like, you say something 1 year and the next year, irrelevant. Sometimes even in San Francisco, you say something and like one day later it's irrelevant. But right now we're gonna go with the concept that San Francisco is changing every 2 years. People come to San Francisco chasing adventure, chasing the next big thing. They got a job. They got brought here by a big tech company. They're gonna spend 2 years here and then they're gonna leave. So I've noticed that in San Francisco, you make these friends and you bond, and then after 2 years, they move to another city. Good news is you've got friends in lots of cities. You can go visit your friends anywhere that they live. That's great, wonderful. The bad news is that the dynamic around you is constantly changing, constantly new, and that you're like, what are you trying to say? Well, in the music industry, that's important because that means that your fan base is changing every 2 years. That also means that if you are good at knowing the bands in the Bay Area in 2026, in 2027 or 2028, all the bands are going to be different because people have moved away. That's a pretty complicated scene to be trying to work in, a scene that changes every 2 years. Bigger picture is I've been in the Bay Area now for like 20 years, and I found that the Bay Area changes every 5 years, like on a bigger scale. Like what's important and what the city is focused on changes every 5 years. So I can say that, like, hey, my favorite time in the Bay Area was like 2010 to 2015, and then it changed. 2015 to 2020 was. We might even go a little bit later than that. Let's go like 2018 to 2022, 23 was hard. The good news is right now the Bay Area is again focusing on entertainment as a way to return the city to a vibrant place that people want to be. So Mayor Daniel Lurie is focusing on music, entertainment, destinations so that people want to be in San Francisco. That's positive. Thank you. The complicated thing is finding your place in that. Like, are you the demographic that they're reaching out to play those shows or to get that funding? So we'll talk a little bit about that and a little bit about like how to make sure you're setting yourself up for success around like trying to be noticed in the Bay Area. So we'll go back to grad school. Finished grad school a long time ago. Created a survival guide that was trying to make it evergreen, something that could last till this moment. Some of it didn't last. Talking about MySpace, irrelevant. Talking about Twitter, irrelevant. Um, in some ways, talking about Facebook, irrelevant. Like talking about social platforms, basically anything I would have said 10 years ago, irrelevant. Anything I say 5 years ago, irrelevant. That's a day-by-day kind of situation. But here are the things that are relevant and are sticking around. So, if you are trying to create a project in the Bay Area, in the world, anywhere that you live, and you're like, hey, how do I start? What I've done is created what I call my 5 P's of survival. Let's clear my throat for a second so we can get ready for this. You ready for this? Let's do this just a second. There we go. 5 P's of survival are plan, personify, promote, plug in, play. And how that works is that each of the P's, the 5 P's of survival, have information underneath that helps you when you're approaching your project. So if you do these in order, that's how I'd suggest doing it in order and figuring out, like, first I need a plan. So, like, what is your style? What is your way of creating that plan? Do you have a system? How do you do your planning? Some might opt to do all of their planning on their phone, using notes, using calendar, while others might try to go a little bit more tangible. I specifically have a paper calendar to go along with my digital calendar, just because I know it's better for me to have both and try to keep them matching up. But I know that I'm better at my paper calendar because it helps me to look at something when I'm trying to make a plan. I also have my paper notes and I have my digital notes. As someone who's defined as neurodivergent, tactile things are very important to me. Paper, the ability to touch something is extremely important to me. So I like my digital calendar for in the moment, but I really need my journal, my notes, my paper calendar for more evergreen approach to things where it's like I see it and I know exactly what I'm dealing with here. So that's the basics of plan. We can go way deep into that, but let's just do the basics of planning. Personify. You're like, Personify, what's that? I came up with Personify because it turns out that a lot of creative people don't like the term branding. Say, branding, I hate that. I hate branding. Like, don't make me a corporation. Don't make me a huge, disgusting brand that's just consuming. So it means the same thing, branding, persona, personification. But I found that when I talked to creative people and I said, do you have a brand? And they were like, oh. And then I said, do you have a persona? Do you have a style that you approach things? Yeah. Like, puff up their chest and like, yeah, I got a style, I got persona, I got something I'm trying to tell people. And I think that's important. So what is your personification? What is your persona? For the sake of my ability, we're going to say that you need to work on your brand. And I'm biased. I'm of the standpoint that, like, whatever you're doing, if you're representing your brand, you need to represent. Balanced Breakfast Podcast, I got my Balanced Breakfast shirt on. Stefan Aronsen, when he's DJing, has these big white glasses. That's me. My brand, you recognize me, you say, oh, hey, I know you. I'm just leaning in on the things that I like to naturally do. So someone will say, oh, you're so fake. I say, no, I love big white glasses. I really like making t-shirts and designing them. So making a Balanced Breakfast shirt and wearing it, like, is so me. What is the so you? It just make sure that when you're creating your second P, your persona, that you're just taking yourself and multiplying it by 10, the biggest version of yourself. That could mean that you know what colors you use. That could mean that you know what fonts you use. You have all those details figured out, and then you take it to the 10th degree. And then go back to the planning and write it all down. These are my fonts. These are my colors. These are the things I do. This is my persona. Make sure it's written down so that way if someone asks you what are your colors, what is your fonts, what is your persona, you have it written down and you can just share it real quick with them. Promote. This is the hardest one. This is the one that like might change every 6 months or something. So you got your plan, you've worked on your persona, and now you're working on your promoting. What does that look like? There's not one way. I'm sorry. There's not even one correct way. There are like 50 wrong ways, and sometimes those wrong ways work. It's the most infuriating thing. It's like someone could say, hey, do this, and it's really successful, and it is for them. And then this other person says, do this, and it's really successful for them. The problem is you got to figure out your own style of promotion. For a balanced breakfast, what works best is grassroots promotion. So sometimes we spend money on social media platforms to try to hit a wider audience. Often we send emails to try to like hit even another audience, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to work. Like, it's really frustrating. That doesn't mean that like I'm going to hit my audience with that email, with word of mouth, like with social media. What it works for us is like a shotgun approach. And that's so frustrating because you're like saying that's so much work. Like a shotgun approach means like hitting every single channel, and it's true. And then you start to figure out which one of your channels is popping off the most. Is word of mouth popping off the most? Are flyers working best for you? Are posters working best? Like, there's not one solution for every single person out there, but you do need to be promoting. That's the gist of this. You do need to be promoting. So, however you choose to do it, you have to be promoting. You have to be your best advocate. You are your best cheerleader. Your mom's pretty good. Your girlfriend's all right, but you are your best advocate. So just know that like, if you're not being your best cheerleader, you need to find someone who will be your best cheerleader and ask them to talk about you all the time. That's a pretty good approach. So. Let's see. If you think you understand promotion now, plug in. The last one of my 5 P's of survival is plug in. So it basically means that like, okay, you've made your plan, you've worked on your persona, plan, promote, plan, personify, promote, plug in. Now is the time when you got to take all those things and put it into the action. Plug in. When I was trying to get into the music industry, what it looked like was going out and taking photos of people. I was at the shows. I wanted to work with musicians, so I took photos of them, and I said, "Hey, I took your photo. I'd like to share it with you." Instant connection there. Now we're friends. Your version is not going to look like that. Your version of plugging in might be going to networking events, going and meeting with people at curated events like Balanced Breakfast Meetup. Join us. We're every Thursday, every last Thursday in San Francisco, and every first Tuesday in Oakland. If you're listening to this and you live in the Bay Area, join us for plugging in. But your version is going to be different than the other person's version. Similar to promotion is not going to work for everyone. Figure out your way to plug in. What's your way that you can meet people and connect? And then the last one is play. It's the one that all creatives want to get to right off the bat. They just want to go out and play shows. It's true. That's the funnest part. Playing shows is super fun. So let's do it. Let's play lots of shows. Let's be out there doing our craft at the best we can do. Like, let's be out there just like making sure that people are like getting to hear our art. That's important. But there's some steps to get there to make it last. There's some steps to get there to make it so that you can play like forever. It's like forever. Slide into your grave sideways, like having been a rock and roller like your entire life, like with your business, like being successful. Let's make it so you can play always. But there's some steps. Create your plan. create your persona, promote it, plug it in, connect it to people, and then do it. Those are my 5 P's of survival. I'm gonna give you a little extra nugget. Who out there wants an extra little nugget? You're thinking, okay, cool, I get it. Now you're gonna like put it into action. And maybe you're gonna contact me, Stefan, at balancebreakfast.com. Or maybe you're gonna contact a venue because you're like, I did all these things. I'm gonna reach out to this venue. Here's some tips. Don't give too little. Don't give too much. If you give too little, I'm gonna be like, this is not enough to work with. Like, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish with this email. Like, give me some details. But don't write me a novel. If you write me like 3-page of information with every last thing that like is important to you, I'm checking out. I'm gone. I also don't really love form letter. I don't love like this is what I'm sending to everyone. I just changed your name. So do a little research. Find out about the people that you're going to send a message to. I realize it sucks. It's not fun to send messages. It's not fun to cold call, cold message people. Do a little research. Find out about me. Like, my favorite color is magenta, hot pink. I'm both a Giants fan and an A's fan. It's complicated, I know. If the Giants are playing the A's, I choose the Giants. Find out who I'm listening to. I really want to see Mike D because he's touring again. I'd like to see him from the Beastie Boys. That'd be really great. These are things you can find out about me if you do a little research. Find out like what I'm listening to. Find out like what I'm posting about on social media, and then slide into my DMs. For example, Balanced Breakfast hosts South by Southwest every March in Austin. We source from our network to find those people who are going to play those shows. People always say, how do I play the Balanced Breakfast showcase in Austin? Come to one of our meetups. Plug in, like connect with us. We have Rock Lotto in November. It's going to be at Kilowatt. That's going to be awesome. People are like, I really want to play Rock Lotto. Like I hear so many good things about it. Do it. Come join us. Like, send me a message. Find out about it. We have our summit that this year happened in Napa, and people are like, how do I speak on that summit? How do I get on a panel? How can I talk about the things that I'm passionate about? Come to one of our meetups, plug in, connect, send me an email, tell me like what you're passionate about. It's been great talking to you. Hope I've given you a little bit of insight into like how to start connecting, promoting, like plugging into the music scene. Thanks for listening to the Balanced Breakfast podcast. We've got a lot more of this coming your way this year. We're at Music City, San Francisco. We're in their podcast room. It's rentable by the hour. It's a pretty cool space. There are 4 spots here for people to podcast. We're in the upstairs area. It's perfectly silent in here. There's 4 cameras to choose from. Camera 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 5? There's 5 cameras. And this is the revival of the Balanced Breakfast podcast. It's been nice chatting with you. You can find me on all the social platforms at first name Stefan, last name Aronsen, so Stefan Aronsen on Instagram and Facebook. And you can find Balanced Breakfast is no vowels, BLNCDBRKFST on all the social platforms. And on the web, balance-breakfast or balancebreakfastwithnovowels.com. It's going to be funny when someone types in Balanced Breakfast with no vowels, literally, like .com. I should buy that. It doesn't exist, but I should buy it. All right, thanks for listening. Take care.